Hello once again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and listening to another edition and episode of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's episode, we want to thank our sponsors, as we always do, who help us bring the show to you for free each and every week, wherever you download and listen to our podcast. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza. You can try Angelo's Pizza at our shows, but if you want more than their award-winning pizza, then check them out on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. Of course, thanks to Pollyanna DIY. If you've been to one of our shows and you've purchased one of our custom pins, then you have seen a product of Pollyanna DIY. Look them up, and they'll make customized items for you and have plenty of other things to purchase there as well. Thanks to Smart Mark Video, who records all of our live events so that you can watch it whether you're there or not on DVD or MP4 download streams. And speaking of streaming, we of course want to thank IndependentWrestling.tv. Sign up for IndependentWrestling.tv now. Use the code ABSOLUTE and enjoy a 20-day free trial. Watch former and previous AIW shows as well as plenty of other promotions. And with that, we get into this week's episode, a huge roundtable again as we continue to recap the week that was in New Jersey. On this week's episode, we actually talk about our show, the Slumber Party Massacre, which took place Thursday, April 4th in Jersey City at White Eagle Hall. Joined by Wes Barkley, Dominic, Garrini, bartender Nick Sanka, likely to chime in at some point worldwide, will be joining us. Of course, as always, AIW owner John Thorne. And my name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts. And where do you want to start with this one? We covered a lot about the leading up into it.
So we rolled up squad deep.
We did. Also, before we even, I guess, start about our version of the show, huge thanks to everybody from the AIW crew that did roll up super deep, coming in from Cleveland and other places. Just a lot of our AIW regulars were there and in full force, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helped out quite a bit. You know, they have a good core of the fan base travel up, but we had a ton of first time fans too, which is you know, that was the whole point of doing the whole thing. So yeah. I mean, this was probably the most stressful day of my life for sure. I was feeling the pressure.
What time did you get to White Eagle Hall that day?
Oh, like 9
p.m.
9 p.m., 9:30 p.m.
You didn't have to go earlier that day, just on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, we didn't go earlier that day. We were like running errands and stuff and kind of getting, you know, crossing the I's and dotting the T's, and it was more complicated ticketing than we usually do, and we were trying to get organized because the turnovers on the buildings were, like, from show to show were very short. You know, there was like a small window of time.
One of the things that was interesting, because of obviously people anticipate there was going to be mayhem and guys going through things. Explain real quick, because people have talked with some confusion but also enjoyment of guys going through doors as opposed to tables in terms of being set up.
That's what they do in that area is doors.
It's a game changer thing.
Right.
And they're a lot easier to find than tables, you know. So we couldn't find any tables in the area. Tables are also much more, you know, expensive. And they're just harder to find those right types of tables anymore. And it was kind of down to the wire, and it's like, okay, you know, let's get some doors, I guess.
You could tell in following along, like people who were watching the show and tweeting about it, who knew that situation, or who were used to seeing people like use doors, as opposed to like maybe our fan base in Cleveland who had never watched, you know, these different products and they didn't know about it. So
or half a door.
Yeah, or half a door.
Or half a door.
We'll get into that.
So like I said, you know, we all kind of met up, got things together, and then we we all rolled out together at the same time, like in kind of like a cavalry, like Nick Sanka had his rental. And
back to the countdown clock. We're getting down to 10 minutes. We're pulling up. Us three.
Said how many?
Derek. I was like, we were like tweaking out for a second. Like we were pretty nervous. And then it was just like, it was
like,
let's rock.
It was like the Brickster say 100 deep.
Yeah, he
said 100 deep to the Whitehall.
To the Whitehall.
Wrong venue, but I love it, Brick.
We
love you, Lex.
So like Derek director made like a pre-show playlist, you know, to like set like a vibe for the show or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just like put it on in the car. It was just like mainly like rap music and stuff. And like it was like dead silent for like in the car for like the 30
We were
minute
just getting
drive.
ready.
Like 30-minute drive in, and then like the van was behind us. And then, you know, like Pedro and all those guys arrived like right before we got there.
Yeah.
Finding parking kind of sucked. And then once we found
We found that little spot.
yeah, we found like a secret little spot around the corner.
Nice.
Squad.
And then, you know, we kind of just all like rolled up, like ready to go. Like, you know, we did like a briefing or whatever before the show. So it was like, you do this job, you do this job. Like, we have to change the ring over. Like, there was a lot of work that needed to get done. And like,
Dr. Dan's hairpiece was up on end at this point.
oh yeah, 20. Like we had like, you really had like 20 minutes to like, you know, clear the building, get everything set up,
We
and
did
then
not have much time.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, and
they
the
were
difference between I was at almost all the shows that weekend. The difference between AIW and all the other shows was all the other shows just used the collective ring, the collective mat, all that stuff. But we were not about that. We wanted to, you know, we wanted this to be AIW. You know, we spent a good amount of money on custom AIW turnbuckle pads earlier this year. We're gonna use them. Dr. Dan and I painted that canvas. We're gonna fucking use it.
Yeah. And probably also in hindsight, a good move on our part in
just for branding and
Branding,
stuff.
branding and, you know, not bloodying a canvas that's going to get used all weekend.
They freaking did a death match on it the next night, Steve, with light tubes and scissors.
Yeah, but we don't have to be responsible for it then.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't my concern at all, but
Right.
But the branding looks great. Like from all the pictures that
Yeah,
we've
ring was
gotten
sweet.
from just basically like
the balcony and
the
stuff.
balcony
Yeah.
and a hard cam standpoint, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just kind of like, let's just, you know, let's get things together. We fucking, you know, it's just kind of like we're waiting for that show to, you know, to click over, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, you know, I talked to Pedro, you know, say hello to some people, and I'm just like, okay, like, I don't, like, we had a goal. My goal was to sell 300 tickets in advance ourselves, and then that didn't count the combos. We hit that goal like 2 hours before the show, so I was like, as long as we hit that goal, like 300 pre-sold is not an embarrassing number.
Yeah.
When you put the combos in, it's like closer to over 400 pre-sold. So I was like, you know, I was pretty happy with that. That, you know, as long as, you know, people got out of the WrestleCon show and the MLW show, like, we weren't gonna, you know, it wasn't gonna look bad.
Right.
That was pretty much my only concern, was like making sure people got there. So that's why I wanted to get the ticketing and stuff organized. So like, this is kind of like an embarrassing story, but like, I'm like, I like go for a walk to like clear my head. I'm like dead in the zone. Like nobody can talk to me. I'm like fucking just like getting my thoughts together. I walk around the block, and this guy's like, "Oh, excuse me, sir," and I'm like, "Can't fucking help you, dude." Like he's shirtless. He's shirtless, wrapped in an American flag. So I'm like, this is a bum, and like I'm just like so tensed out, like, and I keep walking. He's like, "Oh no, I'm a worker." And I'm like, what? And he's like, I've been waiting for you all day. I was like depressed in my teenage years, and I discovered AIW, and it like helped me and motivated me to be a wrestler. And I've been like waiting to meet you and tell you this all day. And I was like, oh man, I feel like such a piece of shit right now.
I think I know who that was.
And I was like, I feel like such a piece of shit right now. And I was like, that like totally just like broke me out of like my fucking bad mood. And I was like, dude, I feel so bad right now. Cause I was like ready to kill mode at that point. Like nobody could say a word to me at that point. Like I was just like trying to like get my head straight, because we've never run a show like this at all. Like,
Right.
We're going live. We have a fucking time restriction. Like we need to get out of the building by fucking 2 a.m. So it's like there's a lot going on. Half the show is not there yet. You know, like everybody's traveling in. We have to start at 11. Like,
And our big thing too is because there was a really kind of like a time restriction in terms of how quick people could get in to sit down. You and I keep talking. We're like, hey, let's get on the microphone. Let's tell people sit in these seats in terms of general admission. We can't find the fucking guy who's in charge of turning the mic on.
Right, he's taking a smoke break or something because he's running the whole show.
So he finally shows up and turns the mic on 2 minutes before we're supposed to go live.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, please sit here in these seats. And then they're like, oh, we got 30 seconds. I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, and like I didn't leave the monitor really all night. I had the headsets on. I did the cues, and like I didn't want to be bothered or get pulled into a conversation with somebody. And like I'm texting people. I'm like, "Where are you? Like, what's your ETA?" Like, it was fucking stressful. But we started dead on time. I'm pretty sure, like right at 11.
Yeah.
I made a couple quick announcements, and they had it was kind of a cool setup. So I guess Smart Mark had all their people there. Is that who the Bruins bring the whole crew?
Yeah.
So they had like a guy outside the ring. They had Gary, but then the other dude on camera, he had like an earpiece, and he's able to talk to the sound guys and everybody else. And like, all right, you want to roll this time? And they gave me like the cues, and I was like, all right, cool.
I guess before we even start, like this, how the show is booked is not.
I was going to get into that as we lead off,
because
we had switched stuff around.
We had
switched a lot of stuff around.
I had to rebook everything Friday morning. Once I learned the lineups for where everybody else is on, MLW and what they have to do that night. And then, High Spot Super Show was closer than where MLW was, but, we had, and then DDT as well. So we had guys coming from all sorts of different areas and locations. And I initially wanted, I wanted Mance and Gage to go on way earlier, and I learned that just can't happen. So then I have to rebook the whole card, and that was a whole process Friday morning. What's that? Or Thursday morning. Yeah,
you definitely knew anyone coming from MLW because those motherfuckers were covered in goddamn glitter from Teddy Hart.
Yeah, so it was Thursday morning. See, like my days are already fucking off.
Right.
Right. But
then you also had somebody who wanted their match to go one match later than what they were.
Yeah,
Get into that.
Yeah, Scott wants
Scotty.
He wants his moved back a little bit, but
I need a chick.
What he doesn't realize is like nobody else that's on after him is at the building yet. Like we don't have a full match for the rest of the card, and
So let's start with this. What is supposed to lead off the show?
Dom and Josh
Bishop
to set the precedent for the night.
11 o'clock. Welcome everybody. Way to go hall. Blah blah.
Because they had the lowest expectation of like fanfare wise of what they would do.
And instead, now one of my favorite things is I saw on Twitter multiple times. Fucking yeah, AIW. Of course they would. Amazing booking to open with this match. 11 o'clock or whatever. I was like, we're opening contest is a Mexican death match, and everybody's like, yeah, that's how you open the show. And in my mind, I'm seeing this. I'm like, well. Yep, that is, but that's not how we were gonna do it.
Well, we were gonna open it with what they were gonna do,
right.
And like I wanted to space out the craziness.
Mm-hmm. And you want to space out the tag team matches as well.
I wanted to space out the tag matches, space out the craziness, we fucking like. I make the decision. I say, you know what, like the first thing people see is the fucking 666 guys painted up,
family,
and they say, and I know that I like for the first time ever, I give you specific instructions on how to ring announce this show.
Yeah, we gave essentially titles to
the
every
opening
match.
contest is the Mexican Death Match.
Yeah,
and that's totally just stolen from ECW pay-per-views. Like they would do that for every big match, and like everyone would pop.
And this is a rare moment where we do intros as they're coming to the ring because of time constraints.
Right, which could be adapted for the show, more shows than this to move it along, which is something that like I discovered, like, hey, this definitely helped flow things a little better.
Yeah.
So we're doing this turnover before we even start. Like the Steiner meet and greet is just, it doesn't go well because it's just there's no time. It's a fucking mess. It's hard to coordinate where he's at. He's in a spot, then he leaves a spot, then he goes back to a spot. It's the worst meet and greet of all time. We made like $80. So
like another thing because not finding the microphone.
Right, you couldn't make announcements.
Like, hey, can you make this announcement? Like, yeah, where the fuck is this guy?
Right. So, and then he wants a chick.
I need a chick.
And then I find Laurel, and that's just who I saw.
Right.
She didn't. She didn't do her slap. Like she got nervous, but and that was the only girl that I knew that was there. If I remember in retrospect, Lady Frost is there, and she would have been perfect for it. But what can you do? Like there's so many zillion things going through my head
at that moment. Right.
I feel like honestly, Laurel's involvement in that match, those slaps. Like I busted fucking Swoggle's balls. I was like, man, how you feeling after those fucking slaps, brother? Yeah. But given the ridiculousness of that match, on its face, the slaps worked right in there with that whole thing.
I hope so. I mean,
I felt it.
So it's just it's a high pressure because I wanted to treat this like a real pay-per-view. I didn't want to treat this like just a show that's streaming.
Right.
I want we didn't do video packages or anything, but I wanted it to flow like a real pay-per-view event. No downtime. Keep it rolling. And dude, we fucking burned through half this card in 45 minutes.
Yeah. It's you and I are texting throughout, and then I'm like, one of the things we start talking about is championship match later on. We're like, do we do a championship style?
Yeah, because you're running back and forth to the backstage, but I'm not. I'm on the stage area,
and I don't have an earpiece, so our only communication is just
I thought you had one in. I'm calling stuff for it. I didn't know that you'd have one in.
So fucking Tom Dunn of all people has lost his earpiece somewhere from in between shows. And so Jake's like, hey, I have a walkie-talkie, so you could use that, but I don't have an earpiece. I'm like, I'm not going to have a walkie-talkie. It's not like I can hear it up. What?
It's coming out of his check.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's not like I can, have hold a walkie-talkie and listen to it and stuff. And so if people watch this back and you see me on my cell phone, typically I'm texting John Thorne and trying to figure out what's going on with stuff.
So, and that's another thing is now I'm texting people there's a car coming from DDT. I'm getting the status on them. MLW car. Thrift Store Jobber and Welf are going to drive the MLW people, but then once they found out, how they would have to miss the show, they're we can't wait around all night. So, I don't know how, I don't know how the MLW people end up getting there. Because they might have taken Uber because Tom Lawlor comes... MJF gets there early, then Tom Lawlor, and then eventually Mance. But yeah, it's hectic, and it is kind of barely legal-ish on how down to the wire
4 minutes
we are, and there's no downtime. The show doesn't miss a beat.
I remember at a certain point it was 12:58, and I was looking at the card and looking out, and I was like, oh, it's just the main left, and fucking weight off my shoulders.
I think when the main was coming out, there was 40 minutes of airtime left, or 45 minutes of airtime. So it was probably earlier than 12:58, honestly.
But yeah, it was fucking right there. I was like, oh fuck, main's going out, and it's this time. All right.
Yeah, we it was flowing. It was good
from that point.
And I was yelling. That's the only time when I was fucking get him out. I was yelling into the earpieces get him out of the fucking ring. Let's go. On to the next thing. We start dead on time at 11, and we go live on Fight.
And I'm not sure if we knew this at the time, which one of the things that was really nice. Yes, we had our students there, which I try to give them directions because I got Big Twan, which in hindsight is I'm trying to have Big Twan lead the charge in terms of where to position guys around the ring to keep people away while guys are fighting through the crowd. And but here's the number one mark while people are fighting through the crowd is Big Twan.
Yeah.
So I got to remind him over and over every match. Twan, get down. People
I
are
was
standing
going
right behind you.
I was
trying to
going
watch this
I was going
match.
crazy in like a group chat, like fucking crowd control, like
Yeah.
crowd control.
So
Like
I'm trying to.
because we like
that.
we're used to barricades, but like there's no barricades.
No
It's like
barricades.
it's the fucking Wild West.
Yeah,
So,
so
like,
Twan did find some guys, which was nice. I was able to put people in 3 or 4 different corners. And then I don't know if it was a GCW that staffed some guys. So like every time
Yeah, they started stepping in towards the end.
when the ring had to be clean.
I know
they were going
fucking
in
Dom
and
surprised the shit out of some people in front row at the fucking start of your goddamn match.
Well,
Oh yeah. We'll get
so
to that.
I mean the Mexican death match ends up being an awesome thing to kick things off, especially for AIW. You know, you see 2 staples and Eric Ryan and Bobby Beverly doing their thing, and like, hey, this is one of the things that AIW is about, is this just craziness and these kind of matchups. You know, with Mexican.
yeah, they
death
do.
matches,
The big
666
thing is
guys and-
they do this door full of forks, which
of
is
forks.
disgusting.
yeah.
Definitely set a tone.
And we get this cleaned up quickly, and then it's right.
It was during this match though, like somebody in the crowd started the Biggins chant.
It was Adam Circumstance
Yeah.
and Joey Janela.
Well, yeah, and then Janela, like it started to die a little bit, and then Janela like came out and like started going crazy, and like that was a really cool moment.
Which I didn't know.
It
People
was an
told me.
awesome
People
moment.
told me about that after the fact. I
Yeah.
didn't know who did it because I'm on the totally other opposite side of the building.
AI-dub chants, and then it leads into
Yeah.
the Chandler Biggins chants. That was one of the coolest things. I mean, it was the very beginning of the show, but still one of the coolest things that happened that night to me. So we have that match, and then we go, like I said, we go roll right into the next one to a match that was. I mean, I don't even know. No disrespect on, but I don't even know if I call it people's sleeper, because that would mean that people still kind of had some sort of level of expectation that it would steal a show. You know what I mean? And I don't think anybody even was thinking of
No.
that. But you guys, Dominic, Garrini, Josh Bishop, turns out steals maybe not only this show, but to a lot of people's opinion, the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that Josh and I's match was it was kind of always on the card in some way, shape, or form, whether it was like a singles or
It was supposed to be a dream partner tag
and
All right.
with Prohibition and M Dog
and
being
then
mystery
Prohibition
guys.
being
Phil
his
Baroni.
school job. Oh God, we could do a whole Patreon
Nice.
special podcast on Phil
Nice.
Baroni.
Yeah,
but
Prohibition couldn't make it.
but Prohibition couldn't make it, so Thorne started. We pitched some other dream tag partners, and it just didn't make any sense. So
It
Thorne-
didn't fit what AIW was.
No.
And like, I was trying to keep this in the AIW show,
Right.
And I think I was just like, well, like, what if you, as a trainer, do the fucking match that puts you on the fucking map and the fans, the Submit or Surrender match?
Yeah, and I said, yeah, let's do it. I don't think Thorne had any idea of what we were willing to do in this match, nor
No.
did the crowd have any idea.
No,
Again,
I
Big Twan
didn't.
have any idea?
No,
My-
there's a
Especially that crowd on that first dive. I will
I don't
reiterate.
ever dive really, and then
And you
I
fucking
dive.
just came straight from the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Like, no like build up, like just there's Dom
Here we
fucking
go.
diving.
Yeah, I mean,
was
it's one of
good
those
times.
things. I talked to Josh after, and there's Dylan Hales goes, who was there at the venue all day, goes, should I stay for this? And Josh goes, you're gonna want to stay. Because he wasn't sure, and then he ended up staying for the whole show and said it was one of his shows of the weekend.
You guys stabbing each other in the head? With
Oh, there was
Ouch.
there was a lot of stuff.
My man Wes
Wes
Barkley over
Barkley
here
getting
gets
involved
pile-driven.
early.
Ouch.
You all right? I had to check on
I'm
you.
all right.
After
It
that.
did hurt though.
You didn't use my spot I gave you though, dude. Wrestlemania
yeah,
stole
I'm
it.
pretty salty about this. Okay, so on the way there, the countdown clock's ticking, and he goes, "Hey, I got this Odell Beckham jersey for the Browns. Wear that out
Well,
there." And I was like, "That would have been good." And then Sunday
You guys
WrestleMania,
weren't necessarily supposed to be bad guys off the rip though. Like I'm the asshole trainer,
right?
you know.
Hey, I'm just running and gunning.
So like maybe I should have worn the Odell Beckham jersey, but
Nice. But there's a lot of Cleveland people there, though.
yeah,
so I
I had
But that
Yeah, they
match
would've
was
just
that
cheered,
match
yeah.
was wild. That
I
match
had
was wild.
I had some ideas in my head from some matches in the past that I hadn't gotten the chance to really do. That I knew Josh was a complete psychopath and would be willing to do. as well. When I got to the venue, because I got to the venue at about 10 a.m. that day, because I had a couple shows beforehand. I get up on the stage and I look at the crew that I was with, and I said, I think I'll have Josh throw me off this tonight.
So, in that moment, again, Big Twan, you guys are fucking on the stage. Twan's on the stage.
Fucking.
Retract that and run it back.
You guys are on the fucking stage. So, you're up there. And he gets ready to toss about you, and I got Twan doing the hands on the head like,
I'm on the ground.
Oh shit!
Damn near concussed.
He's freaking
Bishop bomb.
Nice.
I gotta grab. I
Bishop's
gotta grab
awesome.
Twan, and I'm like, Twan, get the fuck on the ground and get these people out of the fucking way, dude. Because I'm just envisioning the worst
I'm
case
watching
scenario.
him have you up there. I was like, oh
So this
shit.
is one of the biggest spots of the match, and I knew it going in. So we requested a door for this spot, and our door was supposed to be under the stage side.
Yeah.
Well, I'm selling off from whatever was before that. I forgot at this point. Josh is just destroying me with a steel chair, and I see him go under the ring for our door. He can't find it.
Ankles deep.
Just
Dude,
deep.
under
Can't
it.
find
he
it.
was.
Just cannot find it. I watched Josh Bishop emerge with a half of a door. And I am,
JB.
at this point, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm losing a lot of blood. The other thing I remember was telling Josh before, I said, Josh, when you set this up, those chairs are zip tied. You have to either pull them all the way out or push them all the way back. And Josh just had no clue what to do at this point. But he sets this half door up.
I bought 10 chairs brand new underneath the ring.
Oh no, we used the right chairs on this. We didn't use the venue chairs because the venue chairs would have snapped had we done it with those. But I'm also worried because I'm just bleeding all over the White Eagle stage.
Yeah.
Josh is bleeding all over the White Eagle stage, and he puts me up on his shoulders, and I see this very small landing area, and I just say, well, if I die, at least I die in front of a lot of cool people.
Sheesh.
Thankfully, do not.
Right.
And then, of course, the big spot of the match is a spot that I've had kind of in my back pocket for like 3 years, and that's getting my cauliflower ear, getting him to shove the skewers into my cauliflower ear. So that was something, and a lot of people will ask, did it hurt? And when I thought about it, I was like, most of the cells in there are dead. It probably won't hurt. Going in, there was no pain. It was the pulling them out, and I was able to get about half of them out, and then I had to reach and go for a second and get the rest of them out. It was a lot.
I remember the conversation so many times of you saying just that. You're like, I really like this because you wanted BJ to do it.
Yep, I wanted
You
BJ to do
Lawlor
it. I wanted Tom to do it. They both refused.
And you continuously tell them, you're like, I tell these guys, it's cauliflower here. I'm not going to feel anything.
Well,
You were wrong, huh?
I was wrong, but I do it again. I mean, I would do it again. I mean, and then
That's going to scare me as much as off the stage, though.
Well,
still.
the off the stage scared Clemens too because I like the way my body landed and the way I sold it was like when a guy gets knocked out really badly and his arms are just limp.
T-Rex armed it.
So, but
The moment you hit that ground, I was like,
I mean, big shout out actually to Clemens for this because he did a great job being the ref, getting in there and knowing the right times to ask if we were going to submit or surrender.
Yeah.
And it comes down to kind of something that I said on Twitter. Kingston cuts this promo. What was that, like Wednesday? He puts this promo up about how we're out to show the world what AIW is about, and it really resonated with Josh and myself. And I think it resonated with Josh and myself a little bit more to go out there and really kind of go balls to the wall because we were an afterthought. Our match was barely announced for the most part. Like we had a match graphic put up like the week of, and no, that's not Thorne's fault. It was
I did it on purpose.
We built it late too, and for the most part, I had a fucking awful WrestleMania weekend the year before that I thought was going to make me as like a wrestler, and it was fucking terrible, and it just like led to a downward spiral of like 6 months of my life. So I just wanted to go out and just try to fucking be fearless and have a good time, and I think we accomplished it.
I was super proud of you guys.
Oh, thank you, Nick.
I was
Means a lot.
I was watching it, and I had a smile on my face the whole
Thank
time.
you. The underrated factor of all this is Takeda, the deathmatch guy, just losing his mind at all the stuff we're doing, and just like as it escalates, he's just loving it.
I didn't even see him there.
Yeah, he was just cheesing like. And there's a spot. There's at the end of the match. Josh walks to the back as they're after the finish, and G-Raver gives him like this big fist bump with the biggest smile on his face. And G-Raver's like, I think I might be losing my spot as a deathmatch guy.
He told me that he was super nervous, and Homicide.
Yeah,
gave
this is
him
a great story, too.
Homicide gave him a big pep talk, and he said it got him fucking so amped up.
I have a great story for you guys, including the or the ghost of the White Eagle Hall, Mr. Phil Baroni.
Yep.
Well, I thought before you even go on,
Shout out
I
to
thought
Baroni.
our show was going to get canceled because Phil Baroni started before we're getting ready to switch over.
Oh,
he started
God.
screaming at the staff, and I was
Is that
like,
one woman?
I was
At
like,
2 points during that show, I saw him get kicked out the back fucking door.
He was trying to come through the
And
front
then,
door.
like, I saw him get kicked out of the fucking front door,
Yeah.
like minutes apart. And the funny thing is, they like got him out of the back door, and he's like, fucking like, oh, bring that one motherfucker back here. I'll fucking fight him. I don't give a fuck. And then, like, he got distracted by like a parking cone. He's like, I'll put this on his head. And then he's like, fucking like, put it over his dick. And he's like, and like, no one else is laughing. They're like, dude, just get him to the fucking Airbnb. They took him to the Airbnb, and apparently,
He came back.
Yeah.
So that was that. There was that, and like right before our match, like I had wrestled Phil earlier in the day, and he kept on just repeatedly telling me how good I made him look, and he wanted to make sure he didn't hurt me the whole time, and he kept asking me, "You wrestling again? You wrestling again?" And I kept saying yes, and it was just like
You're
surreal.
about to go out.
And we're about to roll. We're about to roll out, and like he's ready to fight the security because they're just trying to take him
Right.
back to his Airbnb. This is like the 4th time he's trying to fight security. So like Phil Baroni, man, what a fucking.
I thought
guy.
that our show was going to get canceled because I thought that they were going to think that he came with us, and he was just screaming at the staff when we were waiting to load in.
I just remember Saturday or Friday afternoon, Phil Baroni almost gets kicked out of Chikara for using non-Chikara language, and I noticed Mr. Brickster buying Phil Baroni drinks.
Oh wow. Plot thickens.
And O'Shea Edwards literally
respect for
pulls,
Pride, respect for UFC. He's a
O'Shea
legend.
Edwards. Well, here's the story. Brickster didn't know who he was, nor did he know that he was causing a ruckus at the venue. So O'Shea Edwards pulls him aside and goes, "Yo, Brick, what are you doing?" He goes, "You're putting water on a gremlin right now."
Dude, I saw fucking Baroni during fucking Orange Cassidy's deal, and like fucking he was like, we were upstairs in like the brothers lounge or whatever, and like he was like going around saying what's up to people, and then like he made like some really long weird fucking eye contact with me. He's like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" And I was like, "Hey, man."
You had the look of a star.
I think when I was drunk at that Blackcraft show, I was going to test out Phil Baroni.
He's pretty testable at this point. I mean, I was like eyeballing it. I was like, if I was working security right now, yeah, I wouldn't really be worried about this
But
guy.
I derailed this. I usually hate most of my matches, even when they're done. And I was actually like really proud of this. I thought we went out and we put on a really good show. I just remember going to clean the blood up after, and the venue people and Brett and you just saying, "Hey, don't get blood on anything." And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I did not enjoy it come Friday morning when I woke up.
Sure.
I did not enjoy it Saturday morning when I woke up.
Imagine Josh Bishop then getting right in the
Sunday
car and
morning
doing a
when I woke
fucking
up.
8-hour drive.
Well, true story. Josh Bishop texts me. Josh and I, we hug each. We say bye to each other as he enters the dad mobile, and we don't say anything to each other all day Friday. And about 9 p.m. Friday, I'm in bed, and he texts me and goes, "Are you alive?" I go, "Yeah." I said, "Are you?" And that big weekend for Josh Bishop as he made it his first adult purchase ever and bought his own car.
Josh Bishop looked like $1 million, dude.
He looked like Mini Sid.
Yeah.
Those acid washed.
Yes, sir.
People were into it.
But it was cool too because I spent Friday at the venue because I had another show on Friday and all the fans coming up to me and talking, and a lot of people were very inquisitive about my ear. So there was about 15 or 16 holes in my ear where the skewers had gone in. Sarah from Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling was very inquisitive to see what my ear looked like.
Yeah, Marty DeRosa was texting me when the show was going on. He said, this is the best show fucking so far.
So it was really cool. There was a moment where Nick Gage officially christened me gang affiliated as I came back with the Crimson Mask, and he talked about how pumped up he was because he loves violence.
That's Nikki.
So
love Nick
classic
Gage.
Nikki. Tom Lawlor, as he came up, and I don't know if I was either still bleeding or I just cleaned up. He goes, "What the fuck did you guys do?"
Yeah.
He texted me a couple days later, claiming his hero worship for myself and Josh Bishop.
Yeah, he watched it and he said it was crazy.
So from there we roll into the 4-way tag team title match To Infinity and Beyond, Jollyville Fuck It's, production, which is Derek director, Eddie Only, Danhausen comes out with them, and PME. And this is another classic, to your point, John. You said this is going to be an AIW show, which I think in hindsight, if you looked back compared to, and we've talked about it, compared to what other people did, it was the right move for us, and people lauded that all weekend. But this is a classic AIW matchup right here. This four-way.
And this definitely redeems from the 4-way from the 7-year itch. The 4-way tag. These guys end up actually going under time. It's like a 6.5 minute sprint, like from start to finish.
I went outside to tell you guys a good job, and when I came back in, it was over.
Yeah, it was fast. I mean, it was fast and furious.
One of the cool things from this was while there was a good contingent of the Cleveland crew, there's a big crew. And at this point, most of the WrestleCon Super Show people have finally arrived. MLW people have finally arrived in terms of fans.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of these fans don't really know who some of the more localized teams are, like PME. But shout out to the AIW fans who were there, and they got the crowd into PME, and PME had won this crowd over by the end of the match.
For sure.
It's kind of difficult to not get in that sweet-ass Phil Collins jam playing at the beginning there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little Susudio.
I remember they didn't originally want to use that, and I remember Biggins and Thorne, I think, were like, before they even started training at the AIW school, like, no, you guys have to use Phil Collins. Like, Philly Collins is one of the members of the team.
Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Well, because he used to come out to Easy Lover, right?
Yeah, I think they used to come out to Easy Lover,
was
and
the
it
Easy
it
Lover.
didn't work.
So,
But-
I mean, this match, again, it's a 6.5 minute, just guys all over the place, melee, craziness. The world gets to see, if they hadn't before, T-Money and the Pounce.
Cheech cuts his fucking Death Row Records, Source Awards fucking promo at the end.
Actually, really forgotten topic. Nasty Russ breaks his finger like 30 seconds into the match.
I didn't even know that.
How did he do this?
I don't remember what it was on exactly, but he breaks his finger very quickly.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, like immediately.
Yeah, very quickly into the match.
Yeah, Source Awards promo. Do you like that?
Yeah, whatever, man. They went under time, so he had time to do it, I guess.
You don't hear Cheech talk often.
He's a stick guy now.
Yeah, he likes it now. And from there, we roll into a matchup that was supposed to be a little bit further back, but then gets shifted around due to when people are going to be there, and then also because then it moves up one more spot because Scott Steiner wants to go a little bit later, and instead coming in the fourth spot, we get Eddie Kingston and Shinjiro Otani.
Yes, this was supposed to be where Steiner and Swoggle is. I bump them back one. This is a very good match. I think this is a classic match that people can go back and watch multiple times.
One of the things, my takeaways from this is knowing what happened, the outcome of this match, how it turned out, how into it the crowd was, and how much love people gave it after the fact. Was talking to Eddie very early on, like before we get out to the show even, and he's talking to him for the first time, and like, you ready for this? You feel good about it? And he says, I don't know how this is going to go.
I had just gotten done finally cleaning all the blood off, and this was the one match that I'm gonna have to go back and watch because I didn't see it. I know Colin Delaney was raving about it, and when I went to the outside locker room to just kind of check base with everybody, I saw Kingston with a very rare smile on his face. And I looked at him because I knew he had wrestled Masato Tanaka earlier in the night, and he had told me, months prior that there were two I was one of the matches that kept getting canceled, and Tanaka was the one he wanted way more that kept getting canceled. So we got to have these two dream matches against two guys that were tag partners. And I looked at Kingston, I said, yo, if you walked out in the middle of the street right now and a car hit you, would you die happy? And he just got a real big smile and said, I could die tomorrow, Dom. I could die tomorrow.
I forgot there's a couple moments in this match, as serious as it was, and they're just slapping the hell out of each other, when Eddie's in the one corner
And he does the boot scrapes.
but then knocks out his own guys when he
Yeah.
does the running boot. I
think it was Takeda. Was that Takeda?
Hideki Suzuki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember who was over there, but I lost it. He did like 3 times. Made me laugh every single time.
I think so I think Eddie Kingston throws a chop and it wakes Otani up, and it really like changes the mood of the whole match. Because I guess there was communication issues or whatever when they're trying to figure it out. Because we're changing over, and I go, hey, so the Game Changer people, I said, hey, what time's Otani getting here? And they go, oh, we should probably send an Uber to go pick him up. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so like they had a very short amount of time to work through, the language barrier and get a match together. And, they ended up, going like almost 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, they go a fair amount. They're definitely
or maybe not that long, but
but they go about 15, I think.
Yeah,
they're one of that first half matches that uses
there really
up
were
that
no
time frame.
technical halves on this show because there was no intermission.
Yeah, but in my mind,
maybe they didn't go 20. But I don't know, but it was good regardless.
They were. I remember, there was a point where it seemed like we were going to get the first half of the card through within like 45 minutes, and then these guys brought us closer to like an hour.
Yeah.
But it was still awesome. And so then we roll into biggest hype match of
the weekend.
Scott Steiner and Swoggle. And so the microphone that we had to use there is wired in.
Oh, by the way, at this point, I'm down. I think I'm down near the locker room, and Thorne goes, "Hey, go get Steiner. They're up next." And I go to get Scotty, and he goes, "Oh, can we get put back one more?" I said, "No, Scott." I said, "You guys gotta go now. You gotta get down there, bud."
How do you take that?
He's like, "Okay."
He's
He
ready to
knew.
rock.
You guys already pushed him back
Yeah.
one,
He's ready
Yeah.
to
so
rock.
he's got to go. I'm like, we got nowhere else to go, Scotty. I'm sorry.
He's trying to get that main.
Classic NWO, brother. Speaking of people that were there, though,
Oh yeah, like fucking
who was in the crowd?
Conrad Thompson. I didn't even know was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xavier Woods,
Conrad loved
Luke Harper.
Dom's match. So Xavier Woods.
Wait, Conrad actually watched my match. I thought he was gone before that.
I
he
think
came
he
after.
watched that.
Oh.
Xavier Woods doesn't see. Funny thing with him is he wants to come see Steiner Swoggle, but there were a lot of people who still thought we were starting at midnight and missed the whole thing that we got pushed up to 11. He's one of them.
Well, there was also some schedules that were out still. Like I saw some schedules.
Some people scheduled put us out.
Yeah, it still had us up at midnight. So
So he shows up and misses that match, but still loves everything else he sees. So Scott Steiner comes out, and he had warned me ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to use the mic or whatever. So, all right, cool. So I tell the little stagehand guy or whoever's helping me, I'm like, look, he's going to need the mic. Make sure he can move around with this. So we pull out all his cords. Scott Steiner goes, give me the fucking mic. Well, dude makes the mistake and hands it to him, like, through the ropes as opposed to around. So this automatically limits Scotty with the mic.
Oh, no.
And the whole time, this poor dude's trying to get Scott's attention, like, hey, give me the mic real quick. Like, go, like, trying to tell him to go
He
around
didn't have
it.
time for that. He was in the zone.
But
You know
he
how Scotty gets.
makes the mistake of touching Scott Steiner. And if you watch it back, Scott Steiner just puts the mic down and he just looks at this guy and goes, don't fucking touch me ever again. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he's going to destroy
ass
this
in the
kid in
Steiner
the match.
recliner,
You had
brother.
started yet, dude. But this is a fun one, and it somehow.
It goes better than I think it was ever supposed to be.
Okay. How scared were you? What was it, about 3 weeks before the show when you get a message from Scott that says, am I wrestling Swoggle?
Yeah. Well, it's about a month or a month and a half. So then that's a process. And then he doesn't respond to me for like weeks. And then he gets mad because I talked about the midget tossing thing on the Fightful interview. So then I think it's blown again.
Who'd have thought Scotty up on Fightful and everything?
Yeah, he's up on it. So this goes way better, though, than I think it had any business to be. Steiner sells for Swoggle. They do some stuff.
Shout out to New Talent Initiative again.
Cabana Man Dan.
The Andre the Giant of Midgets, I believe, is what Steiner said.
So Steiner called. He wants me to find another midget, and I could not find one. I talked to one guy, and he just wanted way too much money. And I go, I don't got a midget, but I know this short guy that's going to be there. And that's how Cabana Man Dan comes into play. I just remembered how
tired Cabana Man Dan, whose flight landed at 10 a.m. at the airport when we had a call time of 10 a.m. for the first show that he was on with me.
Yeah, so I was like, I remember being short, so I'm just gonna go with Cabana Man Dan. And Swoggle kept going. When he walked in, he goes,
How fucking tall are you?
what did he say, like 5'3" or something?
Yeah, like 5'4", I think.
He's like 5'4", he's like 5'4". He goes, Steiner is gonna fucking kill me, dude. Like, Steiner is gonna kill me.
In hindsight, there's only one other person you could have got that was shorter than Cabana Man Dan, and it would have been Logan Stunt, Marco's little brother.
Oh, I didn't even know who that is.
Yeah, I didn't know. If I would have known you were looking for somebody that short, I would have said, "Hey,
Look for a midget."
Logan Stunt. I mean, that's about as close. I was 9 hours deep at the White Eagle Hall at this point. Phil Baroni won't fucking leave me alone.
Yeah, so
Dr. Dan, 9 hours.
yeah. This goes good. I think it's entertaining. I think it's memorable to a point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Laurel throws the worst slap ever from everything I've heard. I missed
It's
this
bad.
part.
Like I said, it worked
she tried
for the whole
twice.
ridiculousness of the thing.
Okay.
Like,
fair.
Steiner cut some good promos.
I was getting like fucking paranoid at this point because I'm like, oh, is he gonna like go long on this shit? Because like the show is like moving at a good clip, and I'm like, oh man, Steiner could just.
Yo, Steiner bust out a flatliner during
Yeah.
this match, and it shocked me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what his math promo was during this match. His promo leading up to it, fucking amazing.
Owned.
I love.
He was doing some math, and then I think halfway through he just said, "Oh, screw it, play the song."
What fucking song?
That's what it was.
The
Short piece
promo-
of fucking shit.
that promo leading
the
up to
promo
it,
leading
though,
up to it. Do we have confirmation if that was shot on a Motorola Razor?
I don't know,
Dude, I don't know.
But that was
like,
the classic Steiner stuff right there.
Quality of the promo, great. The video quality of the promo, horrible.
yeah, if anyone
a couple filters, a couple more filters.
That's Thorne did a very good job.
if anyone wants to know
Out.
if anyone wants to know why there was that fucking TV fucking setup for that promo, it's because this fucking it looked like it was shot on a Razor phone, which I think they just texted it to me without Wi-Fi, so it came out all pixelated.
That move.
Well, what they did, if they did text it to you, that's why, because it
was texted
degrades
to
the
me.
quality, so they needed to send it to you on like a Dropbox or.
Well, okay, dude. Like, come on.
You
Like,
playing fucking
I was happy I
Dropbox
got
when
it,
you
dude.
were, Scotty.
I was, yeah,
Good point.
change my flight.
My flight.
Yeah, I was happy I got it.
Small pack,
Small people.
big things come in small packages.
That's good.
Your girlfriend calls me. She says, "Your little package can't fit in her big box."
He's crazy.
Oh, Scotty.
Yeah, he's a nutbag. But
Scotty
fucking
gets the
love
W
it.
here.
so
Scotty.
yeah, I mean,
sorry.
of course, I wasn't even gonna approach that, dude. This was a hard enough fucking thing to get in the ring,
Yeah.
you know, like.
You know, this is one of Swogler's dream matches, though. So it was one of those things that you wanted to put together.
I don't know if it was a dream or a nightmare for him after
Well,
it was done, but
I think in theory it's a dream, and then in execution for the poor guy, it ended up having to be a nightmare.
I mean, I don't know. I think it was entertaining.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It was definitely entertaining.
I just don't think like it was never going to be a 5-star classic.
I didn't really see some of this much of this match live. Now that I think about it, it's all the running.
It was. I mean, it's a spectacle. You know.
That boot at the start was amazing.
Oh yeah,
the
the big boot.
I saw
Yeah.
the boot. Yeah. Then we roll into our tag match, which we've covered previously. So
Which these guys just show up
right before.
right before.
These are four guys with a real good rapport with each other that
Yeah.
have worked together enough.
Yeah, which
so-
was great. That was a huge benefit there. It's
The
Ethan
big-
Page and MJF. Dr. Dan's in the corner with Ethan Page. Colt Cabana and Space Monkey. It's supposed to be Grado.
Yeah, he pulls out for fucking taping.
Right.
It's
And,
fucking
uh,
Sorely missed.
They showed up. They showed up literally right before this, so much so that Ethan Page's music hits. I don't know. I just know that he's there. I don't know that they're not ready or anything.
It takes him a while to come
It takes
out.
him a while to come out. Yeah. I think does that show up on his vlog or something? 'Cause
I don't
hear
know.
you and like he's got something going on and you're like, yeah, man, no, you're like, make him wait.
That's not me.
Oh, maybe it was a different match. Like somebody says, make him wait because you're a star or something.
No, yeah, that wasn't.
this sounds like
that was at a different show. Not that show. I wasn't at the curtain at all.
Oh, that's true. You were there, but
The big thing from this is the music guy messing up the music cues.
because he sees Dan and
Ethan Page
in the ring, thinks that's
and he
the
thinks
tag
that team. Yeah.
and MJF not there,
So
so that becomes like a little.
He plays Cabana's music next, and then they're
Yeah.
looking at me, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. And I have no way to communicate with this guy, and I'm like, how the fuck are we gonna save this?
We had some mini under our breath conversations like going on in the ring, and there was a lot of eye contact, and I was like, hey, should we just? I'm like, all right, let's see what he plays, and we
and
waited
Cabana
for it.
and then
So it's
Ethan
big
Page just
monkey.
fucking figured out on the fly to get it.
Yeah,
Just go
something
with
along
it.
the lines of like
Make him come out to my music,
because
and they
I'm
like,
his dad.
grounded.
Because
Yeah.
I'm his dad, because he's grounded, so he's gonna use my music tonight. And
yeah, they just do it all on the fly.
that's just being professionals right there.
We
you
ask
know?
like Cabana. Yeah, Cabana looks at me and like, who's his partner? I go, oh, Dan, are you his partner? And we work it from there. It was great, perfect. It plays off the whole MJF and fucking MJF Cabana stuff.
Yep.
And then I think at this point somebody texts me, Mance is here.
So he's not even there yet.
No, like during this match, I get a text, Mance
And
is
they
here.
are next.
Yeah. Mance is here. Tom Lawlor, I saw him walk in at some point during the show, and he just walks straight through the front door. He must have taken an Uber and got dropped off. He goes straight through the front door, walks through the crowd, and right through the curtain to get to the back.
Tom Lawlor is a thing that kills me in that, like, so when you got to get everybody's intro, and you and I talked about this before, and you're like, dude, just get everybody's thing because we're not going to have time. And I'm like, yeah, perfect. I have 95% of this card's introductions, so that was no problem. I have it all. We're good to go. But Tom Lawlor is a guy that wants to change his every single fucking time. So the, like, 3 matches leading up to his, I had to keep running back and forth. Tom Lawlor here, just to get.
Yeah, it was a
Whatever
hectic
the
scene.
fucking
It was a
thing
hectic
said.
scene.
You want to hear about a great Dr. Dan meltdown?
Sure.
So at the point that Cabana and this Cabana match is in the ring, I walk up on the stage to thank you and to see how everything's going, and you go, hey Dom, can you tell Dr. Dan to tell the sound guy that we're going to do main event intros? And I said, yeah, not a problem. So I go to the back. The Cabana match had just ended. And I go, hey Dan, I said Thorne would like you to go up to the sound guy. At this point, I didn't know it was J-Rose. I'm like, hey,
I just knew Dan set him up.
yeah, Dan set him up, and that's all I knew too. So I'm like, hey Dan, Thorne wants you to let the sound guy know that they were going to do main event intros for the main event. And you would have thought like I kicked him in the balls. Like he got so angry at me. He was like, are you kidding me? Am I the only person that can do anything around here? I'm like, and I literally go, hey man, like, I don't know who's doing the sound. Could you please just do this? And he's freaking out. I think his hairpiece is up all the way.
hairpiece,
like, it's just
I thought
bad day.
I was 42 years old.
Did he go? Did he
I didn't know
go
he was under
do it?
25.
Yeah, he did
so
go
the
do
one
it.
advantage we had was going back to the one camera guy had the earpiece.
Yeah, and like Dan
so we
did it.
doubled up on that because I was like,
The problem here is it's like a 10-second thing. Like,
Yeah.
I know you set up a lot of stuff, but like,
I thought about it after
I just
the
got
fact
thrown off a
too.
fucking stage. Like, can you fucking do this for me, man?
After the fact too, I thought about it. I'm like, well, it really doesn't make that much of a difference, right? All the sound guy knows is I'm going to play music. These dudes are going to come out. He's not paying attention to whether I'm introducing
but it's
people
the
or
fear
not.
of like maybe the mic gets cut or something. Like he cuts the mic,
Yeah,
so like the
that's
mic's
true.
not live after,
Or he doesn't
Because-
play the next song until you're doing the
make
entrance.
the announcement. So like we just wanted to cover our bases. And Dr. Dan, like you would have thought, like I asked him to go buy like a hooker off the corner or something like that. He was like that,
wrong with
like,
that?
pissed off.
Right.
I told the one dude because I didn't get your text back to see if we got anybody to go do it, so I made sure to tell the guy with the earpiece too, just to make sure we had everything covered. But Mance or Nick Gage, I don't want to like
Featuring the
bypass
Duke.
that.
Featuring the Duke.
Featuring the Duke, who takes a unprotected chair shot.
Oof.
There it is.
And the Duke knuckle showing on the
Duke
camera.
knuckle, yeah.
So at this point in the day is when I got my first text from Thorne. Get me a drink.
There
That's
it is.
when the last man showed up.
Yeah, as soon as Mance showed up, I texted Seika. I said, "I'm ready for a Tito's now. They're all here, and we got 1.5 to we got 1.5 to go."
It took you that long for the two.
I didn't have one drink all day until I got the text. Mance Warner was there, and fucking everyone's there for the last 2 matches.
In hindsight, I'm so glad this was supposed to be the 3rd match on the card, and I'm so
was it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3.
I forgot. I mean,
I'm so glad that it goes later because it just had big fight feel to it from the crowd immediately. I mean,
In retrospect, the changes helped the card, I think.
Yeah.
and the
Yeah, you
pacing.
too.
like this show in general, I mentioned a couple of times that like I was running around, I was going crazy. So like this was a show to me that like I didn't get to see a lot of what was happening, but being there on the ground floor, you could feel everything from
Like
the
energy,
crowd.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was one of the coolest feelings ever that I've had in terms of like doing this with everyone. And I was like, you just felt in that moment like whatever is happening right now and what we're doing right now, this is special. This
Yeah,
is
it's
something
working.
really awesome.
Yeah, as soon as fucking Mance got there, I was like, "Give me a drink. I need
Yes,
a drink.
sir.
I'm ready. Ready to have a fucking drink finally."
There it is.
And the only thing that these guys disappoint some people on is that they didn't bleed enough. Everybody's like, somehow this was like the violent match that you thought it was going to be, and they didn't bleed.
Yeah, they just hit each other hard, and maybe they could have did color, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't care at that point. But I was just happy. Like we're heading in the home stretch, man. This is where I should start feeling some relief. And I go, we're gonna fucking. I look at the clock and like, there's like an hour and a half left, and or maybe like an hour left, and I'm like, we're gonna fucking make it, and
we end this with like 45 minutes, 50 minutes left.
yeah, I think we have like 45 minutes of airtime left when it's main event time.
And the guys in the main event really were pushing hard for, unbeknownst to you, even though you and I were talking about doing the championship intros the entire time, they're like, no, fuck it. Like, the match will be whatever the matches want to be. We want the fucking championship intro. I'm like, all right.
And we didn't know like until because we were running live, so it's like we had to wait and see. And then they end up having so much extra time. They're all worried that they were going to get cut short because somebody was going to go over. But like, props to everybody on the show. Like, people hit their times or went under their time and took it being live seriously. And as some of as some of the other shows experienced throughout the weekend,
oh boy,
they get in time trouble. And we go into our main event with at least 40 minutes ready to go, and they get to have a long main event. Is it a 5-star? No, but it was a main event. It was a main event style
For sure.
Yeah.
And
so we go PB Smooth, Tim Donst, Tom Lawlor, Matthew Justice, and
what I knew that I made the right choice of how this was ending. When you're doing the intros and you say hailing from the Funhouse Bar on West 117th Street, Filthy Tom Lawlor, and the place
They erupt.
goes
Yes, sir.
nuts.
Yeah, people went.
That was awesome.
Because the one thing I do discover, which I don't like, we didn't discuss on the weekend fucking recap, is what I was so uncomfortable about it. But walking down the fucking Newark Avenue in Jersey City, fucking Friday afternoon, I got stopped by so many fucking people about the podcast, and I was like, "This is blowing my mind." Like, so many people were stopping me about the AIW podcast.
I was getting blown the fuck up, and I'm like, I'm trash on this thing. Like, what the fuck?
And it's like, it really makes you realize, like, you fucking, we've built like a community
It's
of
like a new
listeners.
paradigm in wrestling too. Like,
Yeah, for
period.
sure,
Like, there
like-
used to be like local market like promos or this or that, fucking or programs, but now there's fucking podcasts.
Yeah, like for everybody that talked about my matches that weekend, it would also be like, "Hey, man, I love you on the podcast," and I was like, "Oh wow, okay, I'm usually just an asshole."
Yeah, and I was like, man, this is so, like, it was getting to the point to where it was almost like uncomfortable to where I was like,
weird.
Oh yeah.
because I don't know what to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
It's a good weird. Like when you're talking about people like having a lot of new fans there, like faces that we haven't seen. There were so many people who were like asking me questions and doing stuff and referring to me by full name. And at no point in the show did I say I'm Steve Guy or whatever, but before the show I'm out there and people are asking me stuff about the starting and everything. And I'm like, man, this is so bizarre. These are faces I've never seen before, and they're all talking to me like, yeah, we know you really well. And I'm like, I
If
don't
Thorne
know.
got stopped by like 100 people, how many people did you get stopped by?
Obviously, you know that answer.
200.
101, brother.
One up, as always,
101.
Steve.
No, it was uncomfortable though. But Nick did like we fucking stopped at a bar, and I was like, man, this is like getting uncomfortable. I can't even walk down this street, which is so fucking weird to say even out loud. I feel like a douchebag saying that out loud. But he was like, literally, probably every person that listens to your podcast is in this city right now.
Yeah.
Like, or the majority of them.
I told this story.
All the free drinks.
Yeah, tons of free drinks
Sold
at
drinks?
fucking at WrestleCon. This couple came up to me and they were like, never seen never seen AIW live before, but we listened to the podcast and we were like, oh my god, that guy over there losing his mind has to be Big Twan because we listened to the podcast.
I've tried to tell you the reach of this previously. Like, Dom, you remember when you guys went to WrestleMania in Dallas? It was you, or maybe it was outside Orlando. It was you and Dan.
It was that in Orlando, but I was
Okay.
in Dallas.
And I walk up
Ethan.
to you guys at that point, and you guys are like in line to go in, and you're like, Steve, or whatever, and you say, Steve Guy, and we're talking, and somebody gets out of line briefly for the moment and just walks up to us. I'm like, oh, Steve, you're Steve Guy. Well, yeah, it's Dom Garrini or whatever. And they're like, oh, we'll listen to the podcast, and that was, that's WrestleMania
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it blows my mind. Like it was blowing my mind. So like I think like when you say hailing from the Funhouse Bar, I think that made me realize, wow, there probably are a fucking shit ton of podcast listeners here.
Yeah.
That have never been to AIW before.
But they've
because
heard the
why would that
Funhouse
ever, like, even, like, there weren't that many Cleveland people there.
No.
Like, there are 30 people
Look
from
at you,
Cleveland.
Laporta.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like,
you watched
that-
it on
that gets-
on
Fight TV?
Fight TV.
that gets the biggest pop of the night is the Funhouse thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, as far as intros goes, and I was like, dude, like, there's not that many people from Cleveland here. Like,
Tom-
who in this, how do these people know that? You know what I mean?
Tom and I debated that because we always try to have fun with his intros, and he's like, do you think I should say it? I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, because even if it's not for the live crowd, it's the people who are watching at home are really going to enjoy it. And he's like, yeah, he goes, to me, this is my home, and that's my home. I'm like, yeah, so let's do it, even just for us and like our true fan base. If it goes over, it goes over. And like, it was just something he wanted to do as like I love AIW and everything it's about, no matter what reaction he got. So to get that reaction was even cooler for him.
Yeah, and they have a pretty good match. It's long. It feels like a main event of a pay-per-view. That was what its intention was. And we end with new Absolute Champ, Filthy Tom Lawlor. He cuts a good promo to close the show as well. And it's
Drinks a fan's beer, throws it,
and
somebody catches it.
At that point, I grab the fucking commentary and I say, thank God it's over. I'm so happy it's over.
They like I like it. I'm just happy it's over.
Yeah.
Pretty much just like Barely Legal, as Worldwide said earlier. 4 minutes left to spare, and you go off the air.
Yeah, I mean, like I kept telling him, I was like, you guys got you guys got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Like we went off with some time to spare. So I mean, I was worried about hitting that time for fucking 6 months.
We did it. Yep. Worldwide, thanks for helping me pick out my outfit again. I've got enough props, but
I don't check off every box. I check off a couple boxes.
You were the only person I told going in and help me pick out the jacket.
Well, I mean,
We were betting. We were taking bets all day what your outfit would be.
Unicorn ascot?
I was close, kind of. I said velvet or satin full pajama suit for the Slumber Party Massacre.
Like, smoking jacket all day.
Smoking jacket,
Hugh Hef
red
style.
velvet jacket. The ascot was a unicorn ascot handmade by some lady in the UK.
Yeah, we had private
Pay extra to get it.
We had private side bets going all day on what your outfit would be.
Shout out to Xavier Woods.
Now
big
we know
fan of
where
the
your
unicorn ascot.
hair can go.
Suckers.
Fucking, like I said, no haircuts between here and
What did
August, brother.
Swoggle was betting on? What did he bet on?
My shirt.
Yeah, he was saying some off the wall shit.
gonna
My
wear
question
that
for you,
shirt.
Steve Guy, was: did you come home with a new suit?
I come home with a new suit. Oh, from the Goldsteins? No, but
You didn't
Josh
get a fitting?
Goldstein has fabric.
Did you do a fitting?
No, he has a fabric waiting for me to drive back up and hook me up with a tailor.
Get your neck size?
Get my
He's
neck
got to get his fucking wingspan.
Get your
Yeah,
wings
gotta
back.
get everything. Gotta get the inseam, all that shit.
But on the show,
Did you have fun?
I was just a spectator. Thorne was in his zone, so I let him be, and it was awesome.
How many drinks did you have?
So a lot.
White Eagle, man.
Whitehall.
The Whitehall, we were packed.
Fucking those Modelo's.
I was just doing Bud Light giraffes, man, and it all
I
probably
yeah.
$5, but they all came out of me when I got back in Cleveland. So
I had 2 drinks.
I don't think they clean those fucking hoses out there.
yeah, they need to flush the system, dude.
2 drink. I get my first drink, JMO Ginger, and the bartender, and she goes, "Oh, $12." I go, "What? $12?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Fucking Jersey, man." And then I go back up like an hour later or whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah, can I get a JMO Ginger again?" She goes, $9. I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?"
the prices changed.
I go,
That
$9.
was
She's like,
weird.
"Well, I felt bad, and
No, they kept
fucking
changing the
Jersey."
prices. They were fucking.
okay."
They were doing it like Music Links, man. The prices varied.
She did load it up though, so I was like, "All right, that's cool."
So I mean, that's the Slumber Party Massacre, I guess, in a nutshell. We tear out of there pretty quick, and
Now that's over, are you
Get to
happy that
White
you did it?
Castle.
yeah, I'm happy we did it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm happy we did it.
Tampa.
We'll see.
Nice.
I mean, the validation. Okay, what a lot of people might not understand is the validation for like Thorne and honestly the whole roster, because what it was about a week before the show, those guys fucking do that
Yeah,
podcast.
people were saying like we didn't belong
we
there.
didn't belong. We shouldn't. We should stay in Cleveland. And we go out there and we fucking arguably have what many people consider the show of the weekend.
Right.
Just a fucking sprint that was fun. It kept the heart of the AIW. Because here's the thing. When promoters go out there and they do these WrestleMania weekend shows, they have a pretty much a pick of all the talent in the world within, a 20, 30 mile radius. And they can get everybody. Certain guys are willing to, take money like
Yeah,
cheaper rates because they can stack more shows, sell more merch. And that was something that from the beginning, when Thorne decided to do this show, he wanted to avoid, and he very much let me know that. He said, "We're not running a super show. We're doing an AIW show." And I think that he did an amazing job of keeping that AIW feel within it.
One of the best compliments I think we got after the fact was Bix in his article on Deadspin.
Shout out to Dave
And-
Bixenspan, Between the Sheets.
And just
Met you in the
describing-
flesh. What's up, buddy?
overall describing our show as what was probably the funnest show of the weekend. Like if you're going to encapsulate something with what AIW is, that's it to me. You know what I mean?
we
There's
just want to
something
be
for
fun.
everybody.
We just want to be fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
why we do Wrestle Rage or
we
Wrestle
we had
Rage.
a 1-star meet and greet and a 5-star show. I'd say this time. So it's a
yeah, we
reversal.
flipped it. Yeah,
Flipped it.
We flipped
Jersey,
it.
we flipped it for you, baby.
We flipped it.
Flip the script.
Flipped the script.
Congratulations.
Well, it was a group effort. I mean, I couldn't have did it without fucking help.
And let's say it. I'll say it here. For the burials in the past 6 or so months of the students that did show up, because there was a car of students that came literally just for the show and went back home.
And then got the fuck back. Yeah.
And they got back.
Bless your hearts.
Bless your hearts. Great job, guys. Trey Lamar, who is one of the guys who gets more flack than almost anybody from
Third
us.
shift, motherfucker,
All-star.
now. All night, brother.
Trey Lamar did a great job.
I don't know what that is.
Trey Lamar, a phenomenal job.
We're like
from
needing
what
somebody to stay
Thorne
up with him.
said. From what Thorne said.
Yeah, Trey was driving people
he was driving
around.
people around.
No, Trey was the MVP last year too. MVP DD. So
Yeah, he was MVP this year
Yeah,
for sure.
He did a
And
great job.
and like he knew coming out, he wasn't even on the show. You
I'm
know?
throwing it down too. Fucking Dr. Dan. Fucking made a lot of shit happen.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
it was-
And also like
Got me
fucking-
home.
It was
every night.
100%. It was
Dr. Dan.
110% a team effort.
Worldwide got me home.
on Saturday night.
Do you want to shout out the other students in house?
Wasabi Jones.
Wasabi Jones,
Andrew,
Andrew, let's go from the
your
top,
daddy
I guess.
daycare,
Andrew,
shout 'em out.
Sierra,
John Michael,
John Michael,
Laurel, Dan Vega,
Dan Vega.
Expelled.
I think they're not expelled. Yeah.
RJ,
RJ. Forgot
RJ.
Zaytoven.
Zay.
Zay was there helping
Doing
out.
work.
Big Twan, just shooting them webs. from
Frankie
New York
Flynn.
City. Frankie Flynn.
Weird Bizzle.
Weird Body.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. It was honestly, it was a team effort, and
Couldn't have did it without Pedro coming out and running the fucking front of the house.
Pedro, forever in a fucking day.
Couldn't have done it without Wadsworth on the commentary call. Shout out to Nick Sanka
For being in the crowd.
Moral support. No, no.
You were doing God's
Nick,
work.
You did God's work because you kept him sane for the most part.
Other than
You know?
Saturday, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah.
He had to have one night to let loose.
Yeah, no, he kept him sane, and
Nick didn't come to keep me sane. He came to see chaos.
he did. You did, and
Another shout out to Papa Pepperoni.
I wish he would have stayed.
yeah,
And PME.
Anyone that left,
Shout out
fucking say-
to Not Your Daddy's Daycare. Leave your kids at home.
Shout out to the Brickster for hanging out with the crew.
Run the ice.
Shouting out. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying
TSJ
Let's see.
showing up.
yeah, I mean,
Jay
AJ
Wells.
Gray,
Yeah,
fucking
Rick-
good late
Rick
night
Elson.
Elson.
Virtual pros.
Virtual Pros.
Virtual Pros.
Adam Cirque.
Rick
Oh yeah, I got to meet Adam Circumstance for the first
Adam
time.
Cirque was
CPA
there.
hung out.
Oh, CPA is a good brother.
CPA is good bros.
Stacy and Pam.
Yeah, they were in the house.
Yeah, fucking.
Goldstein.
Goldstein.
Kim.
Do we shout out Dave the Potato?
Nah.
Nah.
Oh.
Fuck the potato.
Kim Babo. She was there. She does.
At
Bats. John
Oh.
Bats.
Yo, real talk though, like all the fucking
Gangrel.
security and like event
David
staff at like the White Hall, the White Eagle Hall, because they fucking
The White Hall,
whatever
dude.
the
Brickster.
fuck that place was called.
Shout out to Air Cannon.
Because
Yo,
they,
dude, Air Cannon
no,
was great.
They
Whole
fucking
weekend, man.
like were like on top of shit, and they could have been like I've like worked at clubs like similar to that. They could have been way bigger assholes
Shout out to the
fucking
White.
people.
Shout out to the White Eagle Hall security and staff for keeping Phil Baroni in check somehow.
Yeah, and
I believe-
recognizing that I was somebody that knew somebody about somebody and not
Phil
fucking
Baroni,
hassling my shit.
Phil Baroni might still
Shout
be,
out to Chris Clem.
Oh boy, Chris Cleve.
Phil Baroni might still be at the White Eagle Hall. I don't know. That
Phil Baroni, we're all for all you and me. Let's go, buddy.
That's a bad idea.
Is it real?
Yeah.
He's so short.
Oh,
There's a lot of power in those hands.
I think
though,
let's
bro.
wrap it
Yeah,
up.
well,
Estefina and her glasses that she.
I tried to help you out, but then I got distracted by
Two
other
Legs.
things. Ronald Two Legs.
yeah.
Rick Nelson, Enterprises.
I'd say,
Yes.
I said Rick Ross.
Didn't have to bail nobody out. I
The
don't
77 photographers around ringside making it feel like a New Japan show. Mouse.
Well, that's every AIW show.
A lot of shout outs, dude. I love it.
NWO Sting.
think. Guys,
Shout out, shout
Joey
out to-
Janela for the Chandler Biggins chant.
Shout out to Allie holding it down, hanging out
Shout
with
out to
Sully all
Scott
weekend.
Steiner again, because that's my guy. I got to give him another one. My dude.
additional shouts to Joey Janela for giving unprotected chair shots to the Wrestlemania girls. Y'all weren't there. You would have loved it. What do you think here?
I think we're good.
Shout out to Jersey Transit.
Yeah. Jersey.
Yeah, fucking run all night, man. I mean, people
Shout
need
out
to
to
leave like New
Spiritos.
York to like
Spiritos.
goddamn New Jersey.
Shout out to Craigslist for providing authentic WrestleMania tickets.
I heard something, but
What was
Shout out
what's
to Hood Chicken 1 and 2.
Shane Mercer's
All the
driver for
chicken.
getting the cops called.
oh yeah, Akita, fucking eat shit. But yeah, shouts to you.
Shout out to Spider Nate Webb.
Yeah,
Oh
good
yeah,
dish.
Nate Webb
what
all
about the
day.
shit that was on fire outside White Eagle?
I think Joey
don't worry
Janela
about
set a
that.
fire. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he flicked a cigarette and it went into cardboard.
Shout out.
I think we're shouted out.
Yeah,
Good.
Spiritos.
shout it in, shout it out. Shout out to
ribbon chicken.
the little Dominican kid in the school bus that kept on shouting "nice wig" at me while I was trying to like go buy an empanada.
Robles.
Shout out to the lady at the car rental place.
Hooked it up
Yeah, shout
off
out
Free
rip.
Easy Pass.
Off rip. Free
Shout out to the bodegas in the area.
You can tell it's fucking late.
Gary, Shannon,
Shout out
Robles.
to
Shout out to Mike
moving
Burns from
stuff.
Smart Mark Video.
Good, right?
Shout out to Jerry from IndependentWrestling.tv.
Shout out to me sprinting up the road and getting in my car and going to a goddamn bar.
Oh,
See
shout
y'all.
out to Wheeler Yuta for providing me a ride back to my Airbnb after the show.
What a guy.
Wrap it up.
That's
All right,
it.
I think we're good.
I'm shouted out. Shouted out to that guy that I accidentally thought was a bum.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, whoever you are.
Shouts to
dude.
Puff. What the
Thanks.
fuck?
All right, well, for Dom Garrini, Nick Sanko, Wes Barkley,
Yep.
Worldwide, AIW owner John Thornton, my name's Steve Guy. We'll talk to you next week here on The Card is Going to Change.